Hey, little fuzzy one. You're a little nervous. Hi, I'm Pete, and welcome to Just a Few Acres Farm. I thought I would take you along with me on afternoon chores today and just kind of show you what we do taking care of animals in the winter. That kind of drone you hear in the background, they're chopping corn stalks down the road, so you'll probably hear that through the whole video. Ooh, there's the mailman. Package I've been waiting for. Chores are pretty much the same every day, twice a day. Same routine, and I always start with the brood pigs in here. Howdy, boss. Brownie. Billy boy. How are you doing, bud? I like this wrinkly skin back here. Right, buddy? You're a good boy. There's a noisemaker right there. They weren't chopping stalks, they were combining dry corn. I thought they had that all offed up and down the road. Oh, and there goes a pair of grain carts following the combine. My neighbor, the soybean farmer, retired, and he let his land out to one of the big dairies just north of us. I think they milk about 5,000 head. And that's just milk cows. That's not including dry cows, heifers, all that. On a bunch of farms north of here, across New York State as well. So they planted all the soybean farmers' land into corn this year. Where are you going, boss? Don't be scared. Just give you something to do for a while. Boss has quit going outside for the most part. I put some loose hay out there the other day to see if she'd mess with it. And she hasn't. I don't think it's so much that she's scared of the electric fence that we put up a couple weeks ago. It's that we never have much luck letting pigs go outside in the wintertime. If they have the choice between inside and outside, they stay inside. All right, Brownie, it's your turn. These are packaged wood flakes. I could get sawdust cheaper bulk, but convenience is worth quite a bit for me. Come check it out, Brownie. Waddle around, check them out. Wag your tail. I guess she'd rather have her dinner first. Right? All right, Billy. You're a goofball. Let's get your water dish out of here. There you go, buddy. What are you doing? Now you gotta put your dish in here. Look out. Thanks for the help. Billy has to get his share of attention every day. Yeah. You can go ahead and drink. I'm afraid Billy's not going to get invited to the White House for dinner anytime soon. His table manners aren't the best. Brownie, come here. Come here. Come here. Here, lady. We're trying something to get the pigs bred. Get Brownie and Bossy pig bred. And that's an immunization called Sure Gold. Sure Gold. And it's to treat parvovirus. There's a porcine parvovirus and leptospira and a bunch of other things. But basically, they treat conditions that are what's called subclinical, which means you can't tell that the pigs have them. They don't act sick, and it's not life-threatening, but it does affect their reproduction, both of those diseases I mentioned, parvovirus and leptospira. And this immunization we give twice, it's just 2 milliliters, and Billy gets it too, because it affects all of them, can affect all of them. And the symptom is stillborn piglets, mummified piglets, reabsorbed piglets, not being able to stay pregnant. Kind of matches what we've seen. So we're giving them the 2 doses. We gave them one last week. We had to give them another one after 3 weeks, so that'll be next week. And then a couple weeks later, we're going to put them back in to breed. So. It definitely did have an effect too. After we gave it, Bossy and Billy here, they were right back up and acting normally. It knocked Brownie down for a couple days. She just wanted to lay around. So it had some effect on her. But the big effect we saw is that Bossy Pig had a super strong heat the day before yesterday into yesterday. I mean, you could see it a mile away as far as her behavior goes. She even got Billy upset here, catty corner to her in the other pen. He followed her kind of agitation for the 2 days, so I'm hopeful. I've been hopeful before, but I continue to hold hope, and we're going to hold on to Brownie and Bossy and Billy here. Wait until the end of December and put Billy in with Boss and see what happens. And this time, when Boss comes into heat, I'm going to put a pail right there next to the pen and watch him and make sure that Billy hits the mark. It does take some gymnastics for pigs to do that, so I want to make sure. Next job. Two pigs, 1 scoop, twice a day. Yeah, it's time to eat. Nap time's over. You're giving me the I'm hungry whine, aren't you? Yeah. Okay, watch out. These guys are too porky, and by porky, I mean fat. They're carrying too much fat. There's nothing like taking pigs to the butcher and getting 5 boxes of lard back, which are a real pain to try and sell these days. So I try and keep a lot of fat off of them and control how much grain they get every day. With varying results. These pigs have just been here too long. They should have probably gone 3 weeks ago. I like to keep them a little bit leaner, and not let them eat as much as they want because they just put on lard, especially this time of year when it gets cooler. Anyway, in about a week and a half, they're taking a nice trip on the livestock trailer. Yeah. Then I head out to see the ladies. Basking in this gorgeous above freezing weather, aren't you, gals? This is the first day it's gone above freezing in about a week. You're a character. You want to play, don't you? She has real pretty colors. I rarely run any livestock tank heaters for any of our cattle. I never run one for the main herd. And for these gals, the only time I'll run it is when the tank is substantially filled with ice, and then I'll plop it in there and run it for a day or so and then take it out until the next time it needs it. I just break off the ice twice a day and they drink from the cool water underneath it. I got a little system here that I'll show you when we get up to the main cattle herd in the upper barn. And to fill this tank, there's a hose, a 100-foot hose, runs right down there to the hydrant. And I keep it empty all winter long when I'm not using it. It's drained. So every 4 or 5 days, whenever that tank needs water, I hook the hose up to the hydrant, fill the tank, unhook the hose, and walk along holding it up to drain it. While I'm taking care of the pigs, Hillary heads in to take care of the laying hens. She's the chicken master. But this time I'll join her to show you all what she does. We used to use those metal 5-gallon drinkers, the double wall ones where you slide, and they would always rust out. And then we would put them on a heated base, which they sell, and heat them all winter, but they rotted out too.
Yeah, they did.
Those things are a pain in the butt. These plastic ones, we've never had a problem with them, I don't think.
No, I just empty it out at night and bring it in, and it doesn't freeze, so they last.
So in the morning, you bring it out. We keep it in the mudroom overnight to
Yeah.
stay warm. You bring it out. You fill it up all the way.
Yes.
Right? Put it in here. It stays nice and warm in here. Even on cold days, it stays above freezing. There's rarely ice in it except on really extreme conditions.
Yes.
And then in the afternoon, she fills it up halfway, and like we just did. And then in the evening, when you close up things, you bring it in.
Yes.
And the hens are roosting anyway, so
Yeah, they don't drink it in the middle of the night. So.
yeah, works fine. We don't have to deal with frozen water or heaters. What are you doing, crazy cat? It's time for your dinner too, isn't it? You're going to complain. A few folks have asked about this feeder. It sure does work nice. It's raised up and they have a perch here and they don't get in the feed. I didn't make this. It's probably older than I am. Somebody gave it to me. Ezra's tormenting a mouse. Where is he, Ezra? For better or worse, he likes to play with him before he eats them. Where is he?
Well, come on, I'll let you in. Hang on.
Oh. You are flat as a pancake. Are you trying to make friends before you steal her eggs?
I don't know if she has any. No, she doesn't.
She doesn't. Yeah, these white Australorps seem to go broody a lot. This is the first year we've raised them. Otherwise, they seem like a nice breed. They're personable, not too flighty. What do you got in there? Oh, the outrage. No green eggs. The Aracanas have pooped out for the winter. Enough chickens. Let's go up and see the cattle. Not yet. All right, you ladies decided to come in. Getting full. Hey, little one. After I'm done zhuzhing the cattle's hay, I usually have to wait a few minutes for this to finish filling. And I take that time to look everybody over, make sure everybody's doing all right. They all look good to me. Patty's healthy appetite continues. She is rounder than a barrel. I put a quick connect on this hydrant. I poo-pooed them for a long time because I had problems with them a few years ago when we tried them out, especially in the very cold weather, but this one's worked great so far. I just drain the hose like that, hold it up, and it runs out of that elbow on the tank. Then this short length of hose is empty, so it won't freeze. And the cattle drink the water fast enough in this tank. When I come back in the morning, there might be a quarter tank left with ice on it. I just fill it up again. Never has time to freeze solid. As to how I've got this set up, here's the float valve down here. I've got a Y connector in here. I've got the float valve turned on, and I've got this turned on so that both the float and the elbow have water running out of them. That way, when I disconnect the hose of the hydrant, all the water will just drain down through this open valve and empty out here. If it's warm weather and I can leave the float valve on, I just turn this valve here and that shuts off the spigot, and then I can use the float valve for warm stretches. The heifer's tank outside is set up the same way. I get a lot of commentary about water in the wintertime, and my attitude is the old KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid. I prefer that things fail safe. In other words, I empty the hoses out and they're ready to go for the next time. There are lots of complications you can bring to how you deal with water in cold climates like this in the wintertime. They make all kinds of complicated insulated tank setups and auto waterers and buried lines, and I don't do any of that, and it works just fine for me. It takes me about 2 or 3 minutes to empty the 100-foot hose once every 4 or 5 days out in the field there for the heifers. And as you see here, this is very simple to empty, and I don't have to worry about anything failing or freezing up. But as I found in my time doing this, opinions will vary, and that's fine. Everybody does what suits them. This is the first winter we're using this new cattle barn addition on our barn, and so far this worked flawlessly. We haven't had any problems. 2 bales at a time in here. 2 bales lasts our herd about 4 days or so. And of course the pile's right over here, so I just bring them over from the pile. Watering's really easy. I got electricity up here in case I ever do need a tank heater or put a block heater on a tractor. The cattle seem to enjoy it, so that's all you can really ask, is for the cattle to be happy with it. And we should be just fine for hay this winter. We've got, what is that, 40 foot or so depth to that pile. There's a lot of hay in there. I feed hay using a mixture of last in, first out, first in, first out, and whatever's available. Right now, I'm feeding hay that was baled last summer, but as this pile works back, stacked against this wall, is the rest of the hay from last year. So when I expose a couple bales, I take a couple and feed it. And Titus seems to enjoy it very much. I also have quite a few, probably 15 of these really trashy bales that were poor to begin with and are about 4 years old now. I'm going to use those trashy bales as hay bombs for the cattle. Previously I've used them for hay bombs for the winter batch of pigs, but we don't have a winter batch of pigs this year. So when this gets all mucky, I'll put a bale hole in there and let the cattle tear away at it and spread it out and lay on it, and it'll be a nice treat for them. And that's it. All told, it takes Hillary and I about a half hour in the morning, about probably 20 minutes in the afternoon to do chores. There's no messing around with the animals really in the winter besides that. And it's just the way the farm works. We're appreciative of the winter slowdown, and that's why I spend a whole lot of my time taking care of mechanical work and doing other projects in the winter time. Mailman delivery. When the weather's really bad and I just don't feel like doing mechanical work out in the shop, I got a couple things I do indoors, and this is for one of them. I cross stitch, and this winter I started a huge cross stitch, and so these are frames to hold the material while I'm cross stitching. It's really relaxing, grounding, gratifying to do that kind of slow work for me. And I also work on old clocks. I've got a couple, at least one, that I'd like to get going this winter. So that's how our winter goes. Morning and afternoon chores for the animals, and then mostly taking care of projects. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.